Pythagorean Theorem. With this topic, I've provided two different examples that you will be seeing. Now, your triangle can face any direction. So first, we need to kind of understand which sides are labeled what in order to be able to best use this formula that I have also listed here. So with your triangles, if you notice, all of them have this little box in the corner. See if I can make it here. So I want you to think of it kind of like you could make an arrow with it. See how it makes an arrow? So the arrow, the direction of the arrow, that side of the triangle is always going to be C. Okay? Always. So like this triangle here, it's making an arrow and it's pointing up towards this direction. That means this is going to be our C. Okay? Now, the other sides that are next, that's touching that square, if you will, it doesn't matter what side you label what. So we could label this A and this B, or we could have it this B or this A. Those two don't matter. What really matters is where C is. Okay, and we'll label this A and we'll label this B. So once you've figured out the sides, which is half the challenge, then all you're needing to do is substitute it into the formula and solve. So we're going to work on this first example here. We've decided that 8 is A, so we're going to put 8, and it needs to be squared, plus B squared equals 14 squared. Okay, now this is where you bust out your calculator and do your whole squared thing. And remember, you're squaring. So it's 8 times 8. So this is 64 plus B squared equals, and then 14 squared is 196. Okay, so we're going to subtract 64 on both sides because we're solving for B. 64. I don't know why I wrote 16. Okay, so subtract. That gets us 132 equals B squared. But we need to find out the value of just B in order to find out what X is. Okay, so we're going to square root it. Okay, and of course, by now we know that the square root cancels the square. So the square root of 132, again, you'll either need to turn your phone calculator. If you're using your phone, you need to turn your phone sideways in order to find the square root symbol. Or if you're using a regular calculator, you'll need to press second, and typically it's the X squared button. And we'll get 11.489, and they might have a bunch more numbers. But I only wrote 3 places after the decimal because that's what we need to focus on. Because in your directions, it's asking you to round to the hundredths place. Okay? This right here is your hundredths place. So you need to have that third number to determine what this number is going to be for the answer. Since 9 is bigger than 5, that means this 8 is going to round up. So for this answer, it is 11.49. Okay, and this would be the answer that you'd put into Alex. So it's very important that you make sure that you pay attention to the whole rounding thing. Because if you put 11.48, Alex will mark you wrong. Okay, the other type of problem that you'll see is that they'll supply both legs, but they won't tell you what the hypotenuse, or C, is. And so, again, you're still using the same formula, and you're going to substitute that information in. We decided 10 was A, so it's going to be 10 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. Or we could have used X. So 10 squared is 100. And then 9 squared is 81 equals c squared, or you could have used x, either one. Add that together, it's 181 equals c squared. Again, we need to find just c. Oops. It kind of scribbled there. So we're going to find the square root. Okay, so we punch that into our calculator and we find out that c equals 13.4536, so on. Okay, but we really only need 3 decimal places because we need to find out if this 5 rounds up or stays the same. So since 3 is below 5, that means this 5 doesn't change. And so our answer in this case is 13.45. Now, I also put a note up here that in this particular topic, you will either have numbers where you have to find and round to the hundredths place, or you may end up having where you find the square root and it's a whole number. Okay, so that is a possibility. But either way, you'll either have a whole number or you're going to have a number with 2 decimal places.